Have you ever wondered how the story of a Persian queen from centuries ago could have any relevance to us in these end times? That's right, we're diving into the remarkable tale of Queen Esther. Born as Hadassah, this Jewish woman rose from obscurity to become the queen of King Ahasuerus of Persia. But her story is so much more than a rags-to-riches narrative. Now imagine a young girl living in a foreign land, finding herself suddenly thrust into the opulent world of Persian royalty. That was Esther. She was a woman of courage, intelligence, and above all, faith. Her life was a tapestry woven by the unseen hand of Providence, positioning her in the palace at a time when her people needed her the most. But who was Esther, really? She was a Jewish woman living in exile, navigating the treacherous waters of a royal court. She was a beacon of hope for her people, a living testament to the power of faith and courage. And it was this courage that would be put to the ultimate test when her people faced annihilation. Esther's cousin Mordecai discovered a plot orchestrated by Haman, a high-ranking official with a vendetta against the Jews. The plan was dark, the stakes were high, and Esther found herself in the middle of it all. Yet it was this very situation that revealed the divine purpose behind Esther's rise to the throne. With Mordecai's guidance, Esther stepped into her role as intercessor, risking her life to appeal to the king. And in this act of bravery, we see God's unseen hand at work, turning the tables on Haman and saving the Jewish people from certain destruction. The story of Esther is a powerful reminder that God's providence often works behind the scenes in our lives. We may not always see it, we may not always understand it, but it is always there, guiding us, shaping us, preparing us for the moments that define us. In these end times, the story of Esther reminds us to trust in God's providence, even when we can't see his plan. So as we journey through the tale of this extraordinary queen, let's remember that God's unseen hand is still at work today, weaving stories of deliverance, courage, and faith. How can one person make a difference in the grand scheme of things? A question that weaves through the narrative of Queen Esther's life, and one that we'll explore in this scene. Esther's story is a testament to the power of intercession. As a young Jewish queen in Persia, she found herself in a position of influence. This influence, however, came with a dire responsibility when she learned of an insidious plot to annihilate her people. Esther's cousin, Mordecai, had uncovered this scheme masterminded by Haman, a high-ranking official with a deep-seated grudge against the Jews. Now let's pause and think about this for a moment. Esther was in the palace, safe and secure, while her people were in peril. She could have chosen to remain silent, to protect her own position, but she didn't. Instead, she stepped into the role of an intercessor, a role that required courage, faith, and a heart for her people. Esther's intercession wasn't a mere request. It was a brave act of standing up against injustice. She risked her life, her crown, everything she had, to save her people. She approached the king, unsummoned, a move that could have led to her death. But her boldness and conviction caught the king's attention. Her intercession led to the reversal of the plot, the downfall of Haman, and the deliverance of her people. Esther's story is an inspiring example of the power one person can wield through intercession. It's not about the position you hold, but the courage to use that position for the greater good. It's about standing up for what's right, even when it's risky. It's about using your voice to defend those who can't defend themselves. Just like Esther, we too can make a difference through intercession. In these end times, we are called to intercede for those who can't defend themselves. And who knows, maybe you were born for such a time as this. Just like Esther, how do we celebrate deliverance in the midst of trials? It's a question that echoes through the ages, reverberating with the sound of jubilant voices raised in celebration. The story of Queen Esther, a beacon of hope and courage, provides us with a resounding answer. In the heart of Persia, a young Jewish woman named Esther ascended to the throne, her true identity concealed beneath the mantle of royalty. She stood at the precipice of destiny, a pivotal figure in a plot to annihilate her very own people. However, the courage of this remarkable woman brought about a reversal of this malicious plot. Esther's bravery was not without consequence, resulting in the downfall of Haman, the Grand Vizier, who had orchestrated the scheme to destroy the Jewish people. the tables turned dramatically, with Haman meeting his end on the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai, Esther's cousin and mentor. With the deliverance of the Jewish people came an outpouring of joy, an eruption of celebration that resonates to this day in the form of the festival of Purim. This annual event commemorates the deliverance of the Jewish people from Haman's plot, serving as a vivid reminder of God's providential intervention, of his unseen hand guiding the course of history. The celebration of Purim is not just a historical event. It is a testament to the joy that follows deliverance, to the freedom that comes from liberation. It is a reminder that bravery and intercession, much like Esther's, can lead to deliverance, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable trials. In the midst of our modern-day trials, we can draw inspiration from the story of Esther. Her courage, her faith, and her determination to intercede for her people, even at the risk of her own life, is a powerful testament to the transformative power of deliverance. In the end times, as we face trials and tribulations, let us remember to celebrate God's deliverance, just as Esther and the Israelites did. So as we navigate the challenges of our own lives, let us remember Esther. Let us remember the joy of Purim, and let us celebrate our own deliverance, however it may come. What can we learn from Esther's story in these end times? It's a question that invites us to delve deeper into the lessons of her life. As we explore the relevance of Esther's tale to our present days, we uncover timeless truths that can guide us in navigating the complexities of our era. Firstly, Esther's story is a testament to the unseen hand of Providence. Despite the odds stacked against her, a young Jewish woman ascended to the throne of Persia, a position she would later use to save her people from annihilation. This wasn't a coincidence, but a divine orchestration. In the same way, we can trust that no matter the chaos and uncertainty of these end times, there is a divine plan at work. When things seem out of control, we can take solace in the fact that there's a higher power directing the course of events. Secondly, Esther's tale underscores the power of intercession. When the lives of her people were hanging by a thread, she didn't cower in fear. Instead, she risked her life to intercede for them before the king. This act of bravery and selflessness is a call to us today. We are challenged to stand in the gap for those who are vulnerable, oppressed, and facing injustice. In these end times, intercession should be more than a practice, it should be a lifestyle. Lastly, Esther's story ends with the celebration of deliverance. The Jewish people, once on the brink of extermination, were saved and their enemies defeated. This victory was celebrated with joy, a tradition that continues today in the form of the festival of Purim. As we face these end times, let us not forget to celebrate our victories, large and small. They serve as reminders of the deliverance we have and will continue to experience. Like Queen Esther, we are all in our positions for such a time as this. As we navigate these end times, let's remember to trust in God's providence, intercede for one another, and celebrate our deliverance. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.